Hello everyone, welcome to Griftlands. I am DisturbingPuppet. Griftlands is a new Klei game that just entered early access fairly recently. So of course, being early access, lots of things can and probably will change in the near future. I just wanted to show off something in this. I've been playing this quite a bit, pretty much nonstop since I got it. I played through the Sal campaign. This is Sal here is the first character you play as. There's a couple characters, and then a third one that eventually they'll unlock later. Not sure if that'll be available in early access or not. After you finish the story mission with Sal, you get access to what's called Sal's Brawl. You kind of see down here, which is just kind of a series of quick missions without a lot of the story stuff. So there is an actual story. I think a lot of the missions that pop up are random. There's random events that come up as you play through the campaign. There's also a clear choice at one point where you get to choose between a couple different factions. So you definitely will encounter different things each time you play as Sal. And then playing through, I unlock some different costumes for her, but I haven't gone back to the main campaign. I've just kind of tried Sal's Brawl once. Almost made it to the end before I got killed. Finished the actual campaign the first time, though. So Sal's Brawl doesn't actually give away story spoilers or anything. It's basically just a sequence of kind of fights that you go through. And I just thought I would give it a try. I didn't want to spoil anything, so there is no spoilers here for the main campaign. So Sal basically is a hard ass. She's coming back to town and is kind of dealing with criminal elements. So in this, it's sort of a deck building RPG combo. You have two different decks as well, which is kind of cool. You've got a deck for convincing people or arguing with people, and you've got a deck for fighting. So my first run through, I actually had a really good deck for convincing people, so I did a lot more of that as opposed to fighting. My fighting deck wasn't quite as good. In the Sal's Brawl, you do have a mix of missions where you're convincing people or you're actually going to be fighting, killing monsters, or fighting other people. But definitely kind of a cool aesthetic. I like the animation. It looks a lot like Venture Brothers to me. I don't know exactly why. It definitely gives me that vibe. But yeah, let's try Sal's Brawl, and we'll see how far we get. I figure we'll do a day per session. There's just kind of a sequence of missions you do per day, and then at the end of the day you can rest, which will get your health and your... can't remember what it's called, actually, for your health for when you're engaging in arguments or trying to convince people. So we've got Klei and Rook. Rook now has a story mission and has something kind of like Sal's Brawl. I can't remember what it's called, though. So Sal, like Derek, will just go through Brawl, serve an escalating series of jobs as Sal, working for... So everything's available. I do have some outfits we could swap out. Professional. Hunter. Infiltrator. That's pretty cool. Let's go with Infiltrator. I like that. Alright, so we start out, I think every time there's always the same basic deck, so basically just the amount of damage. This is the cost, amount of damage. Composure is sort of like protection. These are specific cards you can kind of look at. And so we have, these are sort of like influence cards, whereas these are like aggressive cards. So same, one cost for 1 to 4, one cost for 1 to 3, but they work a little differently when you play. Battle deck, same thing, cost, defense, protection, damage, and then there's some special stuff you can get. So we start with a pretty simple deck. Set your mind to revenge. Alright. Starting draft is for cards. So up here we have feedback if you want, so you can look at each deck individually. You've got graphs, which are sort of upgrades that affect your other cards or do special things in combat or in arguments. Relationships, so you do have to pay attention as you play this game. You will make people like you, love you, hate you, or dislike you. People that love you will give you special bonuses. People that hate you will cause negative consequences for you, not just in sort of dialogue choices and things and what you can do for missions, but also things that will affect you all the time. So let's start a draft. We get to pick one of the cards, or we can just take money instead, which is shills. So this is our money. Resolve, so this is for arguments, and health for fighting. Alright, so all battle cards. Some of these I may not have seen before, because each time you play through you do unlock additional cards that'll get kind of randomly thrown at you. You can kind of look and see common, uncommon, common, so attack, maneuver. Alright, just got up to 2 cards, gain 1 temporary power for each card discarded. I'm assuming it's kind of random then as well. Footwork, discard a card, gain actions equal to its cost plus 1. That's not bad. And you can kind of see explanations in the little tooltip that pops up. So expend means you can only use it once per battle. So that's not awful. for a fight. Applying bleed is nice just as damage each turn, but doesn't affect robotic enemies, and there are quite a few. The last combat deck that I played, I had a lot of bleed stuff in it, and it was useful against fleshy targets, not so much against the armored stuff. I think I'm actually going to take footwork. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. This I had last time was pretty helpful. So spend 2 combo, does max damage automatically. If you don't have the combo, it just does the 6 to 12. Go Strike. Draw a card, discard this card. Your attack deals max damage this turn. So it's 1 to 2. I could do that much damage, then I draw a card. If I discard this card, so you can kind of see the previous one had an ability where I discarded a card. If I discard this card, your attacks deal max damage this turn. So some cards have kind of this special thing that doesn't come up that often because I haven't seen that many cards that let you discard cards. Maybe as you unlock more, you'll get more of those. Thieves' Instinct. Improvise a random common or uncommon maneuver card. It costs 0 until played. Expend. You only get this so then once. And Improvise just means you choose something and put it in your hand. I like having something for free, but I don't often have a lot of things that cost more than 1. Sometimes just looking. So this is uncommon, but I don't necessarily think it's that much better. If I had a lot of expensive cards in my deck, this would be really useful. But I typically don't. I think I'll just take Ghost Strike since I do have something for discarding. Alright, and these are all negotiation cards. So Improvise means, yeah, choose 1 of 3 to put in your hand. Improvise a 0-cost card from your discard pile, and it does damage, so brings things back from discard. Gain 2 influence at the end of your turn, lose 2 influence. I don't really like things like this that give you and then take it away. Potentially situationally useful. Abrupt Remark, so this one you can't play, which means it has to be discarded to take effect. So you have to have stuff that discards cards for this to actually work. And I haven't seen a lot for the negotiation stuff that does that. I think I'll take Swift Rebuttal. So again, we have something that you have to discard. It's unplayable for it to take effect. Actually, when this card is drawn, deal 1 damage to a random enemy argument and gain 1 influence. So that's not bad because it's when it's drawn. Improvise a card from discard pile. 1 to 4. If it destroys an argument, gain 1 dominance. That just increases the damage for hostile cards. So you can see it's a hostility, whereas this is a manipulate or diplomacy. I think I'll actually take Solid Point. Alright, Negotiation Graft. So these are kind of upgrades. So we have, at the start of each turn, discard any number of cards, draw that many cards. While you have no arguments, all your cards deal double damage. I had this last time. That was pretty helpful early on. At the start of each turn, draw cards until your hand is full. Do you want me to do that anyway? The start of each turn, draw cards until your hand is full. I don't understand this one because I draw cards at the beginning of my turn anyway. Maybe it doesn't go to a full hand. Maybe you only draw a certain number. Not all the way up to max. So maybe this is going up to max. Instead of like if it's draw 2 cards every turn, instead this is go to max every turn. Let's do that just to see. And for Battle Graft, at the start of each turn, gain 1 action for every 5 cards in your discard. That's okay, extra actions are good. Whenever you expend a card, improvise a random card. So this is when you get rid of a card for the rest of the battle, you get another card. At the start of each battle, a random creature joins your team for the duration of the battle. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. I'm going to take that. So critters, you can have pets and stuff that'll help you during fights, but if you have a pet, they actually work against you in arguments because they're sort of distracting, I guess. You can have people help you out on missions. You can hire people to help you for stuff, whether it's negotiating with people or fighting. Mostly they're helpful for fighting, though. All right, this is Fish, and this is her bar. So you've set your mind to revenge. Get out there and get stronger. Cassia is waiting for you. All right, so you can kind of see we've got each day different things. So fight, negotiation, fight, boss. That's day 1. Then you can rest, get everything back, and kind of see here, kill some monsters. So these are sort of random missions. The people who show up here are going to be affected by the missions and choices you do a little bit in the Brawl, not too much. It's much more in the actual main campaign. So I've got different people. If they've got the money symbol above them, they're a vendor. And then I can buy some stuff from fish. So I think this is combat cards, negotiation cards, pets, grafts. Yeah, so grafts. I can add more graft slots. So I can look. I can't afford anything. I've got basically no money right now. So I probably can't afford much of anything. Maybe a card. That would be about all I could afford. And fish, I can buy drinks or fish cakes, which give me some health or influence back or resolve back. But it does put some negative cards in my deck temporarily. Alright, I think we'll just go kill some monsters. So 1 star, wipe out a nest of monsters. 100 chills. Hopefully they're not too bad. So you find the monsters. Wild Vrock. Nothing I can do. No communication or anything, so yeah. So there's going to be a couple Wild Vrocks. I'll get a random monster to help me according to my graft. There we go. Alright, so it does show a pretty good indicator of what's going on. So this means they're going to do a status effect. Status effect. This means they're taking damage, so I can actually look and see my Wild Yote who's helping me. He's going to attack. And then I've got my deck of cards and stuff. So what we have here, special abilities. So health, of course. Up here, at the start of each enemy turn, gain 1 evasion and reduce nimble by 1. So they get a couple turns where they're going to evade the first attack, and they've got evasion ready. So this is something that is panic. So if you do this much damage to them, they will flee. If it's a human person, they'll actually kind of hang around and sort of be like, hey, I give up. And you have the choice of killing them or just ignoring them. If you can get everybody in that state, you could just win the fight. Sometimes missions require you to kill people, though, so that's worth checking out. So I can make them panic and run away if I do 16 or 13. So, and this will count down as we do damage. So you see this one's a little tougher, 22 as opposed to 18. Probably will focus all our attacks on the same. So nobody's coming at me. I've got no numbers here. Nobody's attacking my Wild Yote. So you can see my assistant also take 15 damage. My Wild Yote's running off. Alright, 1 to 2 and draw a card. So we've got 3 actions, so this is action cost up here. Improvise a card from a special set. Give myself some defense, don't need to. Sal's daggers, so here you can say it's insert hammer grip or saber grip, and it actually shows me exactly what they do. One of them applies bleed, the other one does combo damage and gives me combo. The first attack on either one of them is going to miss, so it doesn't really matter. We'll just waste our Ghost Strike. Already hitting this one. Let's try to take him out. So that was the evade. We didn't actually do anything. So if we can do up to 13 damage, run away. So let's just do what damage we can. Let's take... Yeah, I can do something here. I don't need the defense, so let's do that. So we'll do footwork. And let's discard that. So it gives me a couple extra actions. You can go above. So have a little stab. Let's do the Sal's daggers. Let's choose Saber Grip for some bleed. So it costs nothing, does a couple damage, adds a few bleed. So bleed at the beginning of their turn, they take that amount of damage that it halves. And here improvise a card from a pool of special cards, so we get to pick. So 0 actions, so only one of them does damage. This gives me some combo. This one I just draw a couple cards, I don't have any actions left, or we can apply 2 wounds. It means I'll take more damage. If I got this earlier, it would have been better. We'll just take that, because it's actually damage. Gives me some combo as well. Alright, so he is, kind of see, going to flee this turn. And gone. Alright, so he's got his evasion up. You can see my pet's going to take a couple bit of damage. Actually, he's not my pet, he's my temporary assistant. Nobody's attacking me, I don't need my defense, so we could just throw a bunch of attacks. Let's throw that, it should evade. 5 damage. That's all I can do. So some damage to him. Now he's wounded. Status effects, there are some cards that will get rid of them. Not too many, though. Oh, and this I should probably point out. Every time you play a card, you'll fill up one of these little bits. Once you max out, you'll level up the card. There's nothing you have to pay, nothing you have to do. At the end of the mission, it'll just say, hey, these cards level up. And you'll get some random choices of things that you can get. And it seems like there's at least a few different options available, because I've seen maybe 3 or 4 different versions of the same card. So I think you just get a choice between 2 random ones. I'm not sure exactly how many there are for each card, but it seems like at least a couple for each one. So I'm getting attacked here. I don't want to take any damage because my health does carry over from fight to fight. Though I don't know why. Okay, it's just telling me I can't escape from the fight. Usually my health is here, so there's been a patch since I last played, so that must be why. Alright, give myself some defense, so I'm not going to take any damage. I don't want to carry over damage into the next fights and things. It does have evade, so first attack's not going to matter. Yeah, that doesn't help me too much. Let's just do a stab here. Only 2 damage. Okay, he's increasing his power, just means increased damage. So you can hover over anything and see info, which definitely helps early on. So he's already going to die, I don't have to do anything. I should probably just kind of protect myself. Just because I don't want to take any damage. Because the entire day I'll be down that health, so each fight kind of consecutively. I'll play some cards just so I can try to level some things up. Gain a power, do 1 damage, 1 impair. So it reduces the enemy damage. Draw a couple cards. I'll draw some cards, I guess. Just to see if we get anything fun. Yeah, I'll just throw a regular attack in there. He's already going to die. Just worth doing it to level up the card. Well, start towards leveling it up. Victory. Alright, every time you get a chance to pick a card, or you can just take money instead. Alright, 2 for nothing. Discard 2 cards, attack a random target. So apparently I get to choose. I would assume it's not random. Gain 4 defense. At the start of your next turn, gain 2 combo. Pretty decent. Some things do require combo or get combo bonuses. This is uncommon. 1 for a 3 to 5. Finisher. Deal 2 bonus damage per combo. So finishers are pretty powerful. They'll burn your combo points for extra effects. So if you have a lot of combo stuff, having finishers helps quite a bit. That's not bad. 1 for 3 to 5. I kind of like this too, but I don't like ditching cards that much. It's free, but it could end up hurting me 2 cards. If it was only 1, I might do it. Let's take the Haymaker. And we get a Vrock Plume. I think that was just for doing the battle. So you get items, basically. This kind of things you can buy or pick up sometimes. So it's gained 1 evasion, destroy after 2 uses. So a lot of the items will you destroy the card after using it 1, 2, 3 times. I think 3 is the most that I've seen for a lot of these. So I think we just got that because of beating a Vrock. So we got 100 shills. Good to go. Job completed. Back to the bar. Fish pulls you aside. I got a little something for you, kid. Go ahead, pick one. Increase max health by 5 or remove a battle card. I'll definitely take the increased health. Alright, next we've got a fight. Choosing sides. You need to pick sides. Battle. 100 chills. Nobody I can buy anything from. I could kind of talk to people. I don't think I've seen this guy before. It's easy to feel sorry for someone with a face like Grex's. At least Grex thinks it should be. Mind yourself. We may be at a place of leisure, but I'm still Admiralty. So you can see I could hire him. I could share a drink with him, which will help him like me. So if I wanted to, with the money I've got, I could spend a bunch of money getting people to like or love me, which then makes it easier to hire them. Just the cost is less, and also gives me some bonuses. So you can see we've got a whole relationship tab, so you can see all this different stuff. It'll actually show benefits, negative things from people liking you, loving you, hating you, all that kind of stuff. Alright, let's do the choosing sides. The battle is about to start. You need to choose a side. Corrin, Sparks Baron Security Guard. Rumor has it Corrin earned his way into the Spark Barons by inventing an automatic nose blower. Guess he can sniff out any opportunity. Alta, Cult of Hesh Priest. Alta's the type who thinks the sky itself is proof of her faith because it hasn't fallen down yet. So you do have this kind of conflict you run into, at least I did in the main story, between the Spark Barons, who are kind of tech guys, and the Cult of Hesh, who are crazy religious nuts who worship a giant Cthulhu monster under the ocean, which is probably real, actually. Okay, I typically would probably vote with the Spark Barons, but he invented an automatic nose blower. It doesn't sound like he's very useful. I guess we'll do that, so we can kind of see if I choose sides, we have different people helping or against us. So he's got a little dog with him. She's got a priest to fight with her. Yeah, let's go with Corrin. And I get a little Wild Fleed. So Wild Fleed only will run away after only taking 11 damage. Chitinous gains 5 defense at the end of every turn. So good distraction. So here we can kind of see how much before they're going to run away. Stroke Skin. The first time Molo takes damage each turn, they gain 2 defense. This is a species boon, so that species gets that. And they both have Favored by Hesh. All panic meters increase by 1 upon this fighter's death. The amount increases by 2 every turn. So if they die, they're more likely to cause the other person to panic, maybe make it easier for them to run away. At least that's what I think that means. Alright, so robotic enemies, you can kind of see here, they've got a special thing, Metallics. They're immune to bleed and wound. Piercing attacks do double damage. So yeah, if you focus really heavily on bleed or wound, it's not going to help as much against the robots and robotic enemies. But bleed works on anything else fleshy. Okay, nobody's attacking me, but a status effect is going to come at me. Status effect, status effect. Mainly got defensive stuff. They're already hitting this guy, so I think I'm going to go ahead and start working on him. Let's give him a little bit of bleed. And we'll improvise a card, see what we get. Draw a card, discard a card. Some damage and some more bleed, gain a power. That's going to increase my damage for the rest of the fight. Or we can do some damage now by making him bleed. Let's take some power. No, I should grab the 0-1. I'm an idiot. That was my last card. Kind of trying to go quickly. I should probably focus on what I'm doing. Alright, bunch of damage hitting Molo. Don't really care. That's one of the nice things about this. I don't have to worry. If I have a pet, they actually carry their health over from fight to fight. With this, I don't really have to worry about it. So what did I get? The next 2 cards played will expend. Remove for the rest of the battle. Okay. Well, they'll still trigger. I just lose them for the battle. That's not too big of a deal. Do enough, we might be able to get him out of the fight. Yep, so he's gonna give up. No damage coming at me. Chomp. Oh, and she got stunned. Yeah, so human enemies kind of hang out. We saw the monster enemies just ran away. Again, nobody's attacking me. So we'll use footwork again. Get rid of the defense because I don't need it. Give me some extra actions. You can see higher. Let's do this. We'll draw a card. Unfortunately, it's defense, so we'll just do what damage we can. She's already going to run away. Now, we're not going to kill her. So we'll just use all my cards just to give me experience on leveling up the cards. Alright, so now we have them both panicked. We can kill them if we want. We didn't have to, according to the mission description, so that's fine. We can just accept their surrender. I usually accept surrenders. We'll Card's leveled up, but we get to pick something. Switchblade 2. Add a copy of this card to your discard. Spend 2 combo to draw a card. Not bad. That's uncommon, uncommon, uncommon. Alright, Seeker. Gain 3 defense. If I discard this card, I gain 3 defense and heal 3. Not bad, since I do have ways to discard cards. At least one. 4. I usually don't even have that many action points. Crusher. Whenever you improvise while this is in your hand, reduce its cost by 1 until played. So improvising is when I can draw and pick other cards. So I do have some stuff that does that. It would reduce the cost, but that's really expensive for 6 to 10 damage. This one I keep getting more because it adds a copy. I kind of like the Switchblade. Let's grab that. As the dust settles, your allies turn on you. Oh, what fun. You're going to have to fight for your life. Defend yourself. Okay. And now they're helping me, even though they're kind of toast, and I get a random Shriglet. Unfortunately, Shriglets are very, very weak. So I do have some attacks coming at me this time. I could give myself an evasion, then I would just ignore that first attack. I only get a couple uses of this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. So the first attack will miss me. I'm going to use Footwork. Let's discard the defense. I don't think I need to, really, but we'll do what we can. I don't need the defense. We could do some damage and bleed. Impair reduces by 33% the damage that they're going to do, but it goes away 1 per turn. Let's do some bleed. Work on this guy. He had a way to stun people, so I'm a bit more concerned about him, although the dog did do quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, they didn't take much damage in that last fight, so it's pretty much all up to me to take him out here. I'm not expecting the Heshers to do much here. The Heshites. Hessians. Alright, so now a negative status effect by Autodog. Okay, he's taking some damage. Don't have to worry about defending myself. Alright, there's a Switchblade. Don't have any combo. So just showing me that it's adding the card. If something gets added to your deck, it'll show you what it is, give you a chance to read it. Don't need the defense. Let's just haymaker him. I'm getting him down, or might take him out. Let's go for the 2 to 5. Threatening Howl. Deal 20% less damage and receive 20% more damage. Remove 1 stack at the end of my turn. He's got 2 stacks. Alright. I can block everything if I use a couple. So I'll do that, just because I don't want to take damage if I can avoid it. Let's get him out of the fight. You can play cards on your other allies too, so I could put block on other people. So if you want to block and put it on your pet, or you want to put block on your allies to keep them alive, you definitely can do that. Alright, unfortunately we can't scare off the dog. If this guy lives long enough and we don't kill him off or win the fight, he will come back into the fight. Okay, Bleed's not going to help us here, but Hammer Grip will do some damage, give us some combo. I don't have any cards right now that are affected by that, but combo stays until you take damage, and then it's reduced. I'll play a card anyway, just because it'll help level up the card. Although I probably should have put that on Priest Molo. There is no back or anything, so Priest Molo is going to die. All up to me. And now the Shroogs are gonna die. Let's improvise a card, see if we get anything useful. Yeah, let's gain a power that'll just increase my damage. Free attack, we'll draw a card. Get another Switchblade in my hand. Guaranteed 4 or 3 to 6. I think I'll take the 3 to 6 and hope for the best. Yeah, 4. Alright, bye-bye, Shroog buddy. Oh, I thought he was going to die. Now he's going to die. 8 damage coming my way. He's back in the fight, unfortunately. If I do 3 more, he'll run away again, which I can pretty easily do. What is this? Rallied. Deals more damage. Fine. Have a Switchblade in your face. Let's do some damage and draw a card. Let's just do as much as we can. So he's already going to die, so they'll kill each other. Well, the Shroog will hit him first and kill him, and that'll take it out. Just going to keep playing cards to level up the cards. There we go. Kill him or accept surrender. I usually accept surrender. Another Ghost Strike, another Haymaker, or improvise attack card from your draw pile, gain 2 combo. The Haymaker's pretty good. Yeah, let's take Haymaker. Defeat the turncoats. You get paid 100 shills. So we picked up another card there. So this is Targeting Core. Apply targeted, replenish. So you can't control what your allies do in combat, but if you have a targeting core, you can actually tell everybody who to target. So everyone will attack the same target. So that's really the only way you can do that to affect combats with your allies. Alright, pretty good. We've got some money, everything's going well. We've got just kind of a conversation up next, negotiation. What do you sell? Battle cards. Anything interesting? Apply 3 defense whenever this card is improvised, gain 2 defense. That's not bad. Spend 2 combo, card costs 0 for stomp. I've had that before, it's pretty decent. 3 to 5, 2 defense, also pretty decent. 2 random allies for 2 to 5. Discard your hand, draw 5 cards. Discard a card, double the damage on a random card in your hand this turn. Well, we can afford that, but that's awful pricey. I think I'll take the tackle. It's pretty good to have an attack with defense at the same time. This is tempting as well. Yeah, very, very tempting. If I have money, I can also buy a pet. Some people keep pets. Perluck keeps battle steeds. Welcome home. By Ace. By Rink. So he's a wild Shrooglet. This is a wild Vrock. The Vrocks are pretty good. The Shrooglets are kind of the cheapest ones. Not really worth it for the money, though. Unless I really, really needed it. I don't think we need any backup. We should be fine. And you can see we can pay to remove cards as well. I do like this. I'm kind of tempted to take it. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, haven't taken any health loss yet, which is pretty amazing. At your 4th, win the crowd. Negotiation. Convince the weakest members of the crowd. A motley crew costs you. If you convince the right person, you can turn the tide. Alright, so we have choices. Convince Topo. So you can see my resolve versus theirs. They've got backup. So Toppat was a smuggler. Lopley is a Sparks Baron professional. And Hamund is a Rise radical. I would assume that a smuggler, a Sparks Baron person, and a radical together. Maybe the Sparks Baron person is hiring the others, maybe in charge, I'm not sure. Let's give it a try. Go for Lopley. You know what I mean, right? You trying to kid. Don't believe a word she says. Alright, so something actually triggered there because it got drawn. So, this is my defense. This is my main argument, basically. This is any defense I have of that argument. These are side arguments that will appear out here. Side arguments can be good or bad. In this case, these help particular cards, or I can use them to power certain cards. So, side arguments here. Toppat was sabotaging and negotiation, increasing Lopley's damage by 1. So her attacks are increased by 1 because of that. And Hamund is sabotaging, increasing damage by 1. So each one of these is increasing her damage by 1. You can kind of see what she's sort of doing on her turn, an attack, and then something. So 6 damage is coming at me. I have ways to block damage, which are called Composure. So Composure is basically just a shield. Fast Talk. This is normally 1 to 3. Because I have Influence, it's automatically maxed. So these particular cards, if you have Influence, do automatic damage, which you can kind of see here. All Diplomacy cards deal max damage. So we've got some Hostility cards. So this was the one that, when this card is drawn, deal 1 damage to a random enemy argument, gain 1 Influence. So we did damage to her main argument. So these all equally count as arguments for targeting. So we could go for the side arguments that are helping her do more damage. We probably should do some defense. Take a couple to defend myself. So let's just armor up so we're not taking any resolve damage. And the resolve damage does carry over from argument to argument. I've got a chance to do 4 with these. It's not super likely, or guaranteed 3. I think this time I'll just do a guaranteed 3, because the influence can get targeted and destroyed as well. So that's kind of the healthy argument underneath it, so this is very weak. And it doesn't matter how many you have, so if this is even times 20, it has a combined health of 2. 2 damage, all 20 go away. Not 1 is 2, 2 is 4, 3 is 6. So she just stole one of my cards. Okay, we drew solid point again. Alright, so this is appropriated. So 1 health, stole one of my cards. All business. Lopley gains 1 composure for each hostility card you draw. Okay, that's potentially dangerous. I don't have a ton of hostility cards, but I do have some. I don't think I have any zero-cost cards. I don't have any cards in my discard pile, so that's fine. Okay. Well, let's take out that. Any extra damage goes to the main argument, so like for this, 2 of this will hit this, the rest of the 4 will hit me. And you can kind of see I can do certain things like adding influence, doing some damage. So I can do multiple things. I don't have any zero-cost cards, so it doesn't really help much. Playing cards again, we'll upgrade them. So let's just take that out. So we got vulnerability. All resolve loss is increased by 1. Remove a stack at the end of your turn. So you can actually put arguments in the enemies and then destroy it. So there's certain things like planting contraband on someone, and then basically destroying it means like, hey, I planted it on you, and hey, look, I found this on you. There was one as a bounty hunter where it was like, hey, I think you've got a bounty on you. And then if you destroy it, it actually does a bunch of damage to their main argument. So there's some kind of neat little things like that that pop up. I probably should defend myself because 5 of this damage is going to come through directly at me. That's not really going to help. I could get a random card, but I think I'll just take the guaranteed 3 protection just to take a little bit less damage. So still in my fast talk. Yeah, because I'm drawing so many cards, I'm getting solid point almost every time, just doing damage to something randomly. Alright, Strawman. When this argument's destroyed, gain 3 vulnerability. So she put this on me. Wants to destroy it, will make me more vulnerable, means I'll take more damage. 3 coming straight at me, 7 going at that. So a lot of damage coming out. This is boosting her damage still. This took the card away. Probably want to get rid of the boosted damage. I don't like taking that guaranteed damage every time. So that reduced everything by a little bit. Probably should just defend myself here. I could take a point to protect my influence. I could just defend myself. I could try to keep the influence around. I actually really like this system, kind of the way it works. It's really confusing when you first start, but as you go, really just want to focus on this is my health. And then looking at enemy arguments to take out, focusing on arguments that they put in. But it's very confusing when you first start. I definitely agree with that, but I think they do a good job of giving you information when you look at the cards. Stealing more cards from me. Getting that solid point like every time. Alright, trying to destroy my influence because it's guaranteeing max damage on these diplomacy cards. What do we want to do? Well, probably want to keep this alive if I can. Let's just take that out. Don't have a lot of composure cards here. I've got to use 2 to keep this alive. 1 isn't enough. I have to be really defensive at this point. Another Strawman. Stole my Sal's Instincts. Scruple. When destroyed, Lockley loses half their resolve. Only lasts for 1 more turn. Alright, we definitely want to destroy that. But she's doing a bunch of attacks on different things to take them out. I've got to protect this if I can. Alright, let's just take this out. Good amount of damage there. I can do about 6, but I can't do 8 to just finish the argument a little faster. So I've got to do some defense. Let's put some defense on the Strawman. I think I'll just let this go. Which I don't really have a choice, do I? That's not going to help. Quick Thinking might. Depending on what I draw, I might get something defensive. Let's see. Draw 2 cards, Incept 1 Flustered, so reduce damage. Bonus action next turn. The Flustered will help a tiny bit, but it's not a lot. I'll take it though. So give her the argument. So as long as she has this, she's reduced damage, so she's only going to do 1 with that attack, 2 here, 1. So my influence will go away, which means these will go back to being 1 to 3. Some of these cards do require that you use some influence to power them as well, or they do bonus effects with influence. Stealing Fast Talk. I've got her on the ropes, kind of, just in the fact that she's down. As long as I can do 8 damage, we can take her out, and we can definitely do 8 damage because I've got some influence. Yeah, solid point's actually doing really good work for me because I'm drawing so many cards thanks to my graft here. Draw cards until your hand is full, instead of drawing, I think it's a certain number of cards, so we're just maxing out our hand every time. So really, I've got like no deck. Let's just hammer you down into the ground. We've successfully convinced her of our position. Alright, gain 2 influence and apply 3 composure to it, so the influence makes me do the max damage with diplomacy, also used for powering some cards, and then it comes into play with some protection. 0 to 3, but we lose an influence, so this one, we need that influence to be able to cast it. Low below, remove target's arguments, composure. That's pretty decent, actually. I usually go more for diplomacy cards than hostility cards, but that's pretty decent. Yeah, let's give that a try. I haven't actually played that before. We should all listen to this grifter. You're making friends. Get paid 100 shills. That's it. So everybody likes us. We managed to successfully convince her. You can sometimes convince people to help you in fights, or convince people not to be involved in fights. So it can actually be really helpful to have a good negotiation deck. Fish pulls you aside. Got a little something for you, kid. Pick one. Remove a battle card or take money. I'm good with my battle cards right now. I'll take some money. Alright, we've got one more fight, and then we have a boss, and that's the end of day 1. Faction battle. Spark Barons want you to lead a group of goons against the Admiralty. Well, that could be dangerous. So we're fighting against the Admiralty, who's kind of the government. Apparently I just have a combat drone with me, and that's it. We've got a couple wild Vrock who are dangerous. I'll get some random critter. So the Vrock's like before, they've got the evade, we saw that. Doesn't take too much to get them to run away. So what do you have? Power, increased damage. Gain a power at the start of battle. Okay. Formation. At the end of your turn, apply 5 defense to all alloys. Formation is removed when health is lost and regained at the end of Goon Clove's turn. So if I do damage to Goon, they're not going to protect the enemy, other fighters they're fighting with. Okay. The drone's getting hammered here. Do I even need to do that? Do a couple attacks, we can throw up a defense, we could put a defense on there just to help out. Yeah, I don't really need this. Let's do some damage to you. That way you're not going to make them tougher. You're getting attacked by something, so let's get rid of your evasion so that that damage will actually hit you. And let's put some defense on my drone just to help it stay alive a little bit. Jump, jump. Alright, now some stuff's coming at me. This Vrock is already going to be out of the fight. Although I'm not sure, because there's evasion here. The first one should miss because of the evasion, and then it wouldn't be enough. So I'm not sure if that's correct or not. So I can make everyone target the same. I probably want to do the same thing and stop Goon Clove here from adding some armor to everybody. You've got evasion and defenses. I don't have a lot of defense available, but I'll go ahead and use it. Alright, it's not going to do any good because of the evasion to throw shots. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, though, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit the person as opposed to the critters. I'm not going to target yet. I don't mind them spreading it around right now. Okay, so it did evade one, so it didn't run away. So I should have thrown an attack there. So that's not quite right, the way it's going to give you the information, necessarily. But 5, and you'll run away. You do have evasion. Let's get rid of that. I do need some defense. Let's use prediction, just to start leveling that up. I don't get to see what they are here. Let me see if we get lucky and take out this Brock. No, not quite. 1 point left. Sal, that sounds bad. Yeah, because I didn't do any damage to him. We've got shielding now for this turn. Or her, I'm not sure. Okay, my little buddy here is going to run away if I don't give him some defenses. Got no more evasion. We're already taking 5, so that's not quite enough. Alright. That'll make you run away. Hit you. Gotta do some damage to get rid of this formation. Let's gain some combo. And let's put some defense on my little spitting yote buddy. Alright, 8 damage coming at me. That's quite a bit. We can only block 4 of it, but I could maybe draw a card. Okay, it'll give me another action, but that doesn't help me too much. Block part of it. If I get rid of one of these, I can attack twice with footwork. So let's do that. I'm going to get rid of the guaranteed one, just to maybe have the chance to do more damage if we get lucky. And I'm just going to hammer the Vrock here a little bit. Tried to bleed the robot there, so it's immune. I can look and see who's attacking me as well. So if I can take you out, I'm not going to take any damage. Let's go for 5 to 7, see if we can do enough. 1 damage left. Let's just stab you. Bye-bye. Don't need any of these. Not attacking anyone either. Alright, I'll just take some defense. Alright, got crippled, so reducing damage. 2 damage coming at me, not too bad. Let's improvise a card. Let's go with the bleed. That'll even go through a shield. So the damage is blocked, but the bleed gets through. I can't take him out. Well, I can, actually. 6. Guaranteed 3 and 3. Oh, you've got shield. It's not going to work. Alright, let's give myself a little bit of defense. Alright, you're already going to die. I don't even have to do anything, but I'll just stab you up. Just to get some extra experience, we'll play whatever cards we can. Stab's already going to level up, looks like. Defense, just to level up the card. Do some more bleed. Alright, giving up already. Didn't have to kill you, so that's fine. Alright, Defensive Surge. Gain 2 defense, increased by 2 for each card played this turn. That's really good. I've had this before. It can get really powerful. Gain 1 health per bleed on the target. Expend. I haven't seen this one before. Discard up to 2 cards. Gain 1 temporary power for each card. I don't like that much. There really aren't a lot of ways to heal. I have a little bit of bleeding in my deck, but not much. So I could maybe get a little bit of healing. Healing's really powerful because your health does carry over from fight to fight. And as long as it's in the same day, you've got that same health pool you're going with. But being able to block a bunch of stuff, also really helpful because it avoids you taking health loss. This can get really strong. And bleed's really situational, so I think Defensive Surge is going to be better for avoiding damage. Alright, we've got some cards to level up. Go Strike. So it's going to give me a couple options. So now it'll actually highlight. So it's still the same cost, still the same damage. Instead of draw a card, it's now draw 2 cards when I play it. Or I can do extra damage, and everything else is the same. So extra damage for 1, or extra cards. I don't often have the ability to play a lot of extra cards, so I'll just take the extra damage. Stab, discard a card, so that might be helpful if you have a lot of cards that give you benefits if they're discarded, or I can apply a wound. So just extra damage. I haven't actually seen this variant before. I'll take that. Attack twice, or once and destroy. So destroy means the card's just gone. So you have to kind of replace something in your deck, or just hold on to it to use. I typically don't like upgrading to a destroy option because I like to keep the cards in the deck. I'd much rather attack twice. Actually, piercing is what I really want. 4 to 6, discard a card. 2 to 4, attack twice. That's 4 to 8 damage, so I mean, this is actually viewed as kind of a benefit because there are cards that give you benefits when they're discarded. I'll attack twice instead, that's fine. So I can look over my deck anytime I want. We still have 1 use left on this. And because we won a fight, we get a resolve back, so that's our arguments. Any battle you can walk away from is its own kind of victory. Get paid 100 shills. She doesn't look very happy with me. Next is fight a boss. So we could hire someone to help. We've got some money. I'm pretty good in health situations, so I don't need to really try to get any health back. I could buy a fish cake and get some health back. She's also got some 1-use stuff. Gain a power, destroy after 1 use. Gain 10 health, destroy after 1 use. That could be really powerful. Gain an action, destroy after 1 use. I might grab this just to have it in my deck for later days. So who do we want to potentially hire? You might call Herbla Radiant, but that's probably just the radiation. So she's a heavy laborer. To distract me from my drink, best to have a good reason. You can hire her for 200. Grex, we can hire for 300. Frinwin's family has dedicated her to a cult at a young age, but she's taken it better than most. Simply spreading the word of Hesh through the libacious camaraderie of a swill hole. Join me! 200. Everybody can do some good in fighting. Get the feeling on a war would do anything to turn a profit. When my boots aren't tamping the creosote roads of Bavaria, I consider here this third tavern my office. You can get info on things that are highlighted like this. This is kind of where we are. 200. Probably you would be the most useful. Well, the Admiralty guy is probably going to be the best in a fight. But 300 is a ton to be spending just for a little bit of assistance. I mean, 200 is a lot as well. I could probably get through it okay, as long as I don't die. I'm going to buy the healing salve instead. If I don't need it for the fight, we're good. If I need it in the fight, it should help keep me alive. So I'm not going to spend that much money to get some assistance. I've got a spare little critter that'll help me, hopefully usefully. Alright, defeat the boss. Yanwei is looking to kill you. Get her first. Doesn't say I have to kill her. No, so we have something like this in a lot of the missions. You meet Felena on the road. I can convince her, or try to, or just keep going. Why not try? You know, I could really use some help here. Alright, so she's just going to attack me for 6. Nothing special or complicated. Don't have any cards in my discard pile, it's not going to do anything. I don't have any influence, so these are 1 to 3s. If I can get some influence, like there, then that'll increase the damage. We could just go for blocks. So I'm just going to try to avoid taking some damage here. Let's get some influence. So now these will do max damage automatically. So I can see there I don't have any 0 card cost cards in my discard pile, so it wouldn't really do anything. So I could fully block the attack, or we can get some damage in. Let's just do some guaranteed damage. It's the end of the day. We'll get our composure back after this anyway. There's no more arguments after this. There's a solid point popping up. Alright, 4 damage coming at me. We could block that. Got some influence, so that's okay. Could get something random. Let's see what we get. What are our options? Incept 2 vulnerability. Resolve losses increased by 1. Some damage for nothing. Drawing some cards. Let's go for vulnerability. So that'll help me. I've got everything blocked, so we're fine. Let's just do some damage. Alright, whittling him down. Going after my influence now. Again, anything above this is going to come hit me anyway, so I might want to either shield this or myself. I can't take you out this turn. Don't have a lot of composure available. Let's see what we get. Deploy bait. Expend. Bait is great. 2 composure on 2 random friendly arguments, so that would help a little bit. 2 protection and 2 random things. Bait is awesome. I will take bait. Bait must be targeted before anything else. Gains 2 resolve for each stack of bait. So just absorb the damage instead. 4 of it will still hit me, 1 blocked, so 3 is going to come through. Just will protect my influence from being destroyed. Give myself some composure. Saving this for something that's armored. So let's just do some damage. Main argument. Yep, managed to block all that. Okay, going for my influence now. Solid points maxed out. Let's see what that levels up into. I do have a little bit of composure I can throw out there. Sure, let's do that. That'll keep that alive. It'll take a point of damage, but still be there. And yeah, we'll just keep doing damage. We don't have a lot of good combos, so we're not doing a lot of damage here. You just healed yourself, didn't you? Bog Boil. Targets an opponent argument each turn for 5 damage. Okay, that we want to get rid of. It is at 3, so let's just take it out for sure. 8 damage is a lot coming at me. I can't take her out to win. I can get about 6 block up. It's probably what I should do. Yeah, we'll just go for that. Block as much as we can. We lose our influence, but we don't take any damage. Well, I might have taken 1 there. And I can do about 9. It's not enough to take her out all at once. Got a bunch coming in at me. Let's see if we can improvise. Flustered reduces her damage. That's not terrible. Actually, how much is this one? Yeah, they're both already maxed out. If we do some damage this turn, we might have enough to finish her next turn. As long as I get 3 attacks, probably take her out. And then she'll come help me. So here I might just want to go just for taking her out immediately, if I can. I don't have enough because I don't have the influence up this turn. Actually, that should be enough. Yeah, let's do that. So that's a couple damage and gives me influence. So we're now maxed out. 6, we can just do 6. Don't have to target anything else. Just take out her main argument, which means we convince her. Alright. Draw a card. This is an unplayable card, so it's got to be discarded. Once a turn, play this card for free from wherever it is when the specified requirements are met. Opponent argument is removed or destroyed. So we can play this when an opponent's argument is removed or destroyed, and then we'll get to draw a card. Incept 2 Doubt, so this is putting it on the enemy. Doubt targets a friendly argument each turn for 2 damage per stack of Doubt. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Gain 1 influence, evoke an opponent's argument is removed or destroyed. So again, the same kind of thing. If an enemy's argument is removed or destroyed, we can play this for free and it gains an influence. I kind of like the Doubt. Let's take that. Got some upgrades. So upgrade to 4. 4 composures to all of your arguments. Expend means we can only do it once per battle and then it goes away. Yeah, that's pretty good actually, even though it's only once per battle. Restore 5 resolve and apply 5 composure. Destroy. Yeah, I don't like the destroys. Just take the 4 composure. Solid point. So random argument, gain 2 influence, or when it's drawn it does more damage. I'll take the damage, I think. You convince Felena to help you in your upcoming fight. Find your target. Yanwei, Cult of Hish. Yeah, he doesn't look like a cultist to me. And we get a little defensive buddy here. Okay. If we do 76 damage, he'll run away. He's doing a lot of damage to both of us. And we're getting a status effect from her, so she's giving me something beneficial. Taking 5 isn't great. I don't have a lot of defenses, but I'll go ahead and go with it. Let's give you a wound so you'll take more damage. Don't have any combo, so let's just stab him twice. He's hitting all of us kind of at the same time. 3's not too much, so impaired. Attack damage is reduced. There's only one target, so there's no point using targeting core. Everyone's going to hit the same target. It does make things a little bit easier in a way. Attack twice. I can give myself some combo. Now, with the combo, I can do a bit more damage. And then I can easily block everything here, or we can just go for more damage. I'm going to heal back at the end of the day anyway, but I've typically gone in the habit of just trying to defend myself from anything no matter what, just because it does carry over those health losses throughout the day. It's a good habit to kind of be in to sort of protect yourself. Yeah, let's just block everything. Okay, my buddies are doing okay. This is, so far, a pretty easy boss to deal with. Alright, some extra defense. Let's fight dirty. Gain some power, do some bleed. Let's go for power. So I'm going to give myself some extra actions here, just so that I can give myself some extra damage and get some block. Okay, we're doing alright, although my spitting yote's getting a little banged up. Not even attacking us this turn. What are you doing? A little concerned about that. Alright. Have a switchblade! Let's tackle him. Let's just throw a bunch of damage at him. Double strike. And that's it. I'll give myself some defense just because. Nice. Alright, you're pretty much dead. We'll get him to panic here and run away no matter what. How about a couple stabby stabbies? Give myself some combo. It's already going to give up at this point. We don't have to do anything else. But because I can, I'm going to haymaker him. I don't have to kill him, it was just defeat him, I think. So I'll accept your surrender. Shadow Mastery ability. Whenever you discard a card, gain 1 power at the end of your turn. That's pretty good if you have a lot of discard stuff. Zigzag. Improvise a card from your draw pile, gain 3 defense if it's maneuver, apply 1 wound if it's an attack. That's really good. I typically like the cheaper card costs. This one I haven't seen before. Apply 1 stun. Stuns are really powerful, and we can't do anything the rest of the turn, but 3, it is 8 to 12 damage. That's pretty good. I'm kind of torn between these two. I don't really have things built necessarily for this. I do have some improvised stuff that I could work with. Stun is really nice to have, though. It's only once per battle. I could see it definitely being pretty useful, but I'm going to take Zigzag. Get a negotiation card as well. Whenever you expend a card, draw a card. Gain 1 heated, evoke, play 3 hostility cards in a single turn. I don't really do a lot of the hostility stuff. 2 composure to all your arguments I do kind of like. Don't do too many expends. I've got 1 or 2. I think I'll go for the composure on every argument, because that's your main and the little side ones. Got upgrades, Elbow Strike. 4 and discard, 3 and draw. I'll take 3 and draw. Fight Dirty. Improvise from 1 to 5 cards instead of 1 to 3, or improvise upgraded. I'll take the improvise upgraded. Footwork leveled up. Gain actions and draw cards equal to its cost plus 1, or discard any number of cards. Gain actions equal to their combined cost. So I could discard any number and get bonus. Okay. I don't often want to discard more than 1, so I think we'll go for draw cards. Haymaker, so we can just do more damage. Actually, it's guaranteed 6, or we can gain 2 combo from it. I don't have a lot of ways to gain combo. I like the 6 guaranteed damage, though. So 6, and then if I have any combo, it's extra 2. Yeah, let's just go for more damage. It's only 1 action for that much damage is a lot. Get a resolve back. Get a graft reward. Alright, battle. Gain 1 action at the start of each turn. Enemies no longer surrender. That's interesting. I like making enemies surrender, though. Or we can have some negotiation. Whenever you gain influence, deal 2 damage to a random enemy argument. I've had this one before in the main story. This was really, really good. Gain 1 action at the start of your turn. When installed, 2 random people will hate you. This will give you 2 negative effects, though, because when people hate you, it gives you negative effects based on the person. I think I'm going to go for the Coactive Orb Slug. It was really good when I had it before. Alright, so we have a chance to buy some stuff before we go to sleep. We've got grafts. What do you have? Robustify. Gain 10 max health. Alright, that's pretty good. Unstable Augmentation. Gain 3 temporary power on the 3rd, 6th, and 9th turns of battle. So just 3 extra damage for all my attacks. Synapse Board. Whenever you improvise an attack card, gain 2 temporary power. That's not bad either. 300, 200, 100. I kind of like Robustify, just having the extra health. It does take a graft slot, though. That's not what I was looking for. You do have a certain number of slots. You can buy additional ones, though. Just extra damage, extra health. I think I'm going to take Robustify, even though it's kind of the cheapo option. We just plugged it into our head. What do you have for negotiation graphs? Lightning Rod. At the start of each negotiation, insert a conductor card into your hand that redirects enemy intents. Force all enemy intents and arguments to target a specific argument. High-pitched whine. At the start of each negotiation, gain 1 whine. Whine. At the end of the owner's turn, this argument gains 1 resolve. Okay. Gain a whine. At the end of your turn, it gains a resolve, so it just gets tougher and tougher. So it's just an extra argument that doesn't do anything. It just gets stronger and stronger. I guess it could be a distraction, but I don't really get that one. This one's better, but I can't afford it. Alright, that's fine. What kind of battle cards do you have? So we could go for another prediction. Draw 3 cards, gain 2 counter. Isn't too bad. Cross. Gain combo equal to damage dealt by this card. It's a nice way to gain combo, but 2 cost for that's not so great. Defensive Surge is really good. Sharpen I've had before. Apply 2 bleed whenever you hit a target with an attack for the rest of the turn. Just generally gives all your attacks bleed. Just for the turn, though, unfortunately. Doom. Double the panic meter of all fighters. So it just increases the amount of, well, decreases kind of in a way the amount of damage it takes before they're going to panic and run away. But it affects everyone. And I didn't realize when I got this before, it's everyone, including you and your allies. So it's all fighters. I kind of assumed it meant all enemies, but no, it's all fighters. So it affects you as well. I might take another defensive surge. It's quite good. Drawing cards, I don't really need much. Sometimes. No, I'm thinking of my negotiation deck, man. My combat deck, I'm not getting a ton of cards. Negotiation, I've got a ton. That's not bad. Maybe I'll hold off. I'd like to pick up a pet at some point if I can. So we'll save some money for that. Anything interesting? So we still have that solve in our deck until we use it. Alright, let's crash. The bed calls to you. You dream of grime beneath your nails and how it will never come clean. In the dream, it's actually comforting. Go to sleep. 3 more people liked us. Got some extra cards. A lot more battle cards. More rafts. Alright, that's it. End of day 1. So we'll come back later and do day 2. I think we'll try to make a run through and just see how far we get. Last time I died at the very end of day 4, or the fight before the very end of day 4. It's kind of random how many negotiations and how many fights you have. You can actually see these are both, so you have both as part of a mission, just fight, boss fight. Some are just negotiations. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Thanks very much for checking out Griftlands with me. If you're interested, please come back and check out day 2. I'll try to get that done at some point in the near future, get that put up. But yeah, I've got this, and I've just been playing it like non-stop pretty much since I got it. I still have to do the Rook storyline stuff and play around with him a little bit. I'm not sure if his deck is actually different than Sal's, but yeah, a lot of fun so far. So far, really liking this for early access. It seems very polished, very well done, does a lot of cool stuff. If they add anything, it'd be just more kind of randomness. You do kind of go through a specific story, though, and then when it's done, it's done. After that, you can only really do the Sal Brawl. In a way that works for story, but it kind of made you feel like, I just want to keep playing around with the same deck I already had. Instead, I've got to do the Brawl and start with a whole new deck. Maybe at some point they'll change that. Like I said, early access, lots of things can and probably will change. Hopefully not a ton, because I do actually really enjoy this. But yeah, thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you all again another time. Have a good one.